Good morning. Today we're going to go back to 1999, Man on the Moon, which is a biopic about Andy Kaufman, who was an entertainer in the late 1970s in America. Now, the film was directed by Milos Forman and also features Danny DeVito, Courtney Love and Paul Giamatti. Andy Kaufman started in nightclubs with acts that appeared bad by anyone's standards. One of his roles was what he called the foreign man, who was a timid character with an Eastern European accent, and this was designed to guide the audience to expect a certain level of capability. And then he would deceive the audience, for example, by doing a very good Elvis impersonation. The comedy relied on tricking the audience in a very disruptive manner. George Shapiro, played by Danny DeVito, sees the act and sees the response and signs him and gets him a part in a television series called Taxi. Taxi was actually a very important American sitcom in the 1970s, with many actors who would go on to very big roles, including Danny DeVito, who doesn't play a cameo of himself in the Taxi scenes in this film. But many of the original cast members of Taxi do cameo as themselves in this film, including Mary Lou Henner, Judd Hirsch, Christopher Lloyd. They were all together as members of the cast of Taxi originally. Taxi was a relatively conventional sitcom structure, but Andy Kaufman, his part in Taxi was an Eastern European mechanic called Latka Graves. And this was the way he played it was exceedingly post-structural in nature, but limited by the framework of being in a sitcom. Kaufman also played a counterfoil character, an evil and despicable, rude nightclub singer called Tony Clifton. In a way, this has similarities to another entertainer called Barry Humphries, who plays two alter egos, Dame Edna Everage and Sir Les Patterson. One is cheery and uplifting, and the other is dirty, rude and disgusting. Now back to Andy Kaufman. Tony Clifton is a villain character who it was created by Kaufman and his creative partner Bob Smuda in this film, played by Paul Giamatti, with the intention of deceiving the audience. In today's context, you could say that the only reason to act is to get a reaction in anything, not just entertainment, everything. Life has moved forward just that little bit further once you get a reaction. And now this could explain why today's politics are merely an extension of theatre. Boris Johnson, Donald Trump and also Jacob Rees-Mogg, they all resemble Kaufman in that they act a role which allows them considerable freedom to get a reaction. The situations that all of these performers find themselves in, all of these performers work in an area where effectively large-scale, long-term happenings are their medium. Long-term happenings that are puncturing notions of a grand narrative, questioning what is real. A happening is a Dadaist interaction which arose in the 1950s between performer and audience, which transcends or denies expected structure. It takes narrative beyond structure. Kaufman makes appearances on Saturday Night Live, which is an American television programme, but by then has become typecast as Latka, as far as the audience is concerned. So he intentionally annoys the audience by reading The Great Gatsby. All of it. Kaufman gets into wrestling, but only wrestling women, by portraying the opposite of a liberated man. With one woman he wrestles on television, Lynn Margulies, played by Courtney Love, he then enters into a relationship. Now, it's all staged, it's all intentional. It breaks the structure that you were intending or expecting. It's Dadaist. It's helped by manipulation of the press. It fools the media and the people. And you're the audience. 1999, Man on the Moon. Thank you very much. Have a very good morning. Goodbye.